Shea Adams with a hat-trick as Scotland got back to winning ways last night. That 4-0 victory over mighty Liechtenstein. Easing the pressure on boss Steve Clarke. I shouldn't take the mickey because England struggled desperately against Andorra. Now, Steve Clarke's contract is up after the 2026 World Cup finals. And on the Saturday session, Paul, the Scotland fan, threw a name into the mix to replace Steve Clarke should he depart.
I think that's right. Ange Postecoglou's out of job with Tottenham now. He knows the Scottish League. He's been up here.
You're a Rangers fan saying this as well.
He's managed Australia. Is he maybe the next step? By the way, and Daniel Levy would have paid him off well, so he's not looking for the money.
Yeah, I wonder if Scotland would pay Ange the money that he would want.
Well, money permitting, what do you think, Coisty? Would Big Ange be a good fit for Scotland?
Would do me, absolutely. Wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Listen, the big issue. Listen, we're Scots. Remember, we don't like spending money full time. That's factually correct. It's been the case for a number of years, Jeff. As you could back me up there. No, but in all seriousness, if I would not have a problem with it at all. I do. I think he wins things. That's what he does. And I think Stevie Clarke has done an excellent job for Scotland, and hopefully he can get us through over the line for the qualifiers in Group C. I think it's Denmark, Greece, Belarus. So I think it's a good group for us. I think Stevie's got a chance. I think the team's got a good opportunity of doing well in the qualifying group stages. But moving on, if you ask me quite directly, would I have a problem with Big Ange, or would I quite enjoy Big Ange being manager of my national team? Wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Yes.
Yes to Big Ange then as Scotland manager. We're going to stay with Scotland for the next one, Coisty. Russell Martin's begun work at Ibrox, knowing that anything other than toppling Celtic, or at least coming closer to them, would appease Rangers fans. Russell had this to say when asked whether he's ready for the pressure of Glasgow.
I have a lot to prove. I have done in my whole career. My whole career's been based on proving people wrong, really. And at every level got questioned. When I got to the Premier League as a player, I wasn't convinced I could do it, but I managed to establish myself there for a little while. I ended up playing 4 or 5 seasons there, played international football, which I'm incredibly proud of. So it's the same again as a manager. I had to prove people wrong at every opportunity. And there's always some names in football management that are always a bit more exciting than others, of course. But I feel after 5.5 years of being a manager, being a coach, being a leader in an environment, I love doing it.
It's a big, high-pressure job, isn't it, Coisty?
Yep.
What does he need to do this season? I know in an ideal world, all Rangers fans would say, yeah, it needs to win the league. But does he just need to close the gap?
Well, he's got to do that, I think, and win a trophy, to be honest. I'll look at it. It's what he's got to do. It's an easy thing to say, it's a harder thing to achieve. What he's got to do, it's quite simple. He's got to beat Celtic, right? Now, he might not be able to do that because they're a little bit in front. Some would argue a good bit in front in the league and the consistency, and I get that under Brendan, absolutely. Don't have a problem with that. And in recent performances against Celtic, would indicate, watching it, I don't think there's a massive gap between the two sides. I genuinely don't. So I think if he closes the gap and wins a cup, that's him heading in the right direction. I mean, I keep saying it's easy thing to do. What you've got to do as a Rangers manager is beat Celtic. What you've got to do as a Celtic manager is beat Rangers. That's the simplicity of it. Achieving that's a lot more difficult, clearly. But that's what he's got to do longer term. He's got to take over Celtic and win the league. Initially, shorter term, a cup and close the gap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you know how he's going to play, because that's just the way he plays. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Third and final topic, England play at the City Ground this evening. They take on Senegal. It's live on talkSPORT. Another opportunity for some to impress Thomas Tuchel. Stuart Pearce was on yesterday's show. He named and shamed 3 underperforming England players.
Henry, I think the key for England going forward is trying to unlock the undoubted potential that some players have that haven't probably delivered performances in a national shirt well enough. And I'm going to name 3 players to you here. Cole Palmer, who's been magnificent last season and half of this year in the Premier League, Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. There's 3 players there that probably in a national shirt have not delivered what we're all hoping from them. And how do you do that with these players?
Just briefly, Coisty, would you argue with any of those 3?
No, I wouldn't argue with it. But listen, I don't think this is a new problem. Why don't we go back to probably the best generation of midfielders they've had in a long, long time? And that would be Scholes, Lampard and Gerrard. There would be an argument that those 3, for whatever reasons, didn't fulfil their potential at international level, along with their teammates. So, I mean, those 3 midfielders are absolutely fantastic footballers, no doubt about it. But they played and were involved in an England team that you could probably say underachieved. I would certainly say underachieved in terms of getting to the finals of tournaments. So I take Pierce's point, but I don't think it's a new problem.
Yeah, I agree. So it has been a problem really through decades, to be brutally honest, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there's no doubt in their qualities, but we shall see. Phil Foden's had a rotten 12 months, so I'm sure he's going to come good again at some stage.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.